Welcome back to another episode of Dental Marketing Theory. I'm your host, Gary Bird. I'm the founder of SMC National, where we help offices just like yours level the playing field against the big DSO titans so you can grow the way that you want. And today, I have special guests. This is a power-packed episode with Brian Colao from Dykema and the Dee Fischer. And we're going to be going over Dykema coming up. And this is going to blow your mind. Brian has been building the most impactful 3 hours in dentistry, and you are going to be influenced, impact. You're going to hear about it. You're going to want to know what this 3 hours is all about and how you're going to get value out of it. And then also at the end of the show, I'm going to tell you how you can get some free tickets to the event as well as some discounts. So stay tuned for this one. This is going to be impactful to not just your practice, the whole industry. Everybody's going to be influenced by this event coming up very, very soon. Stay tuned.
Everybody always asks for the secret sauce, right? So Ryan's putting it up there and making us give out the secret sauce.
You can get really particular and specialized knowledge for smaller organizations, and then you can come to the big stage, and a lot of what's on the big stage applies to everybody also.
If you're going to spend money wisely and take time out of your practice, make it worth your while and your team's worthwhile.
All right, we are live, and I'm excited about this one because you know what? There's a lot of dental events out there. I actually pulled a list, and there's hundreds of dental events every single year. But this, what we're about to talk about today, is probably the most impactful event of the year. It's my favorite event. I always get the most out of it and always get the most connections and just so much learning from it. And it's the Dykema event 2024, the DSO Conference. And this is going to be July 10th through the 12th, and we have Brian and Dee here. So Brian, I want to first talk to you. You started sharing with me some of the new things that you're adding this year, and every year you always go way over the top, like every year. So I'm actually really excited for you to share. How are you going to go over the top this year?
Yeah, Gary, this is our 11th year doing it, and it just gets harder and harder because I feel so much pressure. When we were like on year one, what are we going to do on year two? It maybe wasn't that big a deal, but it really, there's a lot of pressure, and we start preparing literally the day the event ends, like the day after. So this year, we do got some really cool stuff. We have something called the most powerful 3 hours in the history of the DSO industry. You and Dee are a part of that. It's going to basically be 10, 15-minute hard-hitting, action-packed segments on everything that, if you do this correctly, can increase your EBITDA and the value of your organization, or if you're doing it incorrectly, can really harm your organization. And we're getting right to the point. It's just 15 minutes, maybe 3-4 slides per presentation, all case studies, all data-based, and really, really powerful. And that's brand new, for this year. To my knowledge, I've never seen that tried anywhere, and I'm going to do it. And that's what we're going to do this year. Me and my friends like you and Dee and lots of other speakers, we're going to do this together. And that's going to be terrific. We've got a drone show. Maybe that's not new, but it's back. The weather hurt the drone show last year, but we're back with the $100,000 drone show. We've got Coach K from Duke, the winningest coach in the history of college basketball. He's going to close the conference as a keynote speaker. And then we have Ali Riesman, I believe the second most decorated gymnast, in the history of women's gymnastics. And she's got a really inspirational story, went through a lot of things, happened in her life, and she's going to talk about that. Plus just a ton of other, content. Pat Bauer from Heartland's going to be on stage. Bob Fontana from Aspen's going to be on stage. Steve Bilt from Smile Brands is going to be there. Stan Bergman from Henry Schein, and just really tons and tons of really good actionable content.
That's so awesome. Yeah. And the thing I love, Brian, as I was putting together our presentation, you kept pressuring us, and I know you're doing this to everybody. Yeah, wait. What's the value that they're going to get out of this? How are they going to be able to apply it? And you took what normally I would take an hour to present on, and you really pushed me and Dee to get it down to this 10-minute window, 10, 15 minutes, and get just the main nuggets out of it, that if you do these, then you're going to grow. And that, I am so excited about that. And the other thing that I want to call out about your conference, Brian, is that I love hearing all these big DSOs speak because they tell you what they're going to do. They tell you what their plan is, and that allows you to adjust and pivot, right? It's like kind of important that you know what these big DSOs are doing, because it does impact you in your markets, because you're probably next to one of their practices. So I love hearing that component and hearing what they're kind of forecasting and things like that. Now, Dee, one of the cool parts about the Dykema conference is that you got the big conference, which Brian just talked about, but the day before on Wednesday, July 10th, there's a bunch of boot camps. And then you and I get the opportunity to host a boot camp. So you want to start by just talking a little bit about what we're going to be talking about that day?
Well, first, I'm so excited what Brian's doing because I'm going to say this. This is the year of the secret sauce.
Yes.
Everybody always asks for the secret sauce, right? So Brian's putting it up there and making us give out the secret sauce, which I think is great. And, I think we're going to be talking about, all things in our workshops, all the workshops, opportunity. We're really focusing on going to the positive where the opportunities are. And we're going to learn that. It's going to be tactical. It's going to be something you could start on Monday morning with. But really, in the market that we're in and what we're seeing happening in the world right now, I think it's so key that these workshops are attended for those reasons. So I look at it as if you start off in the workshop and you're getting the tactical, and then we go sit with Brian for 3 hours and get the secret sauce.
Yeah.
I mean, you should be paying triple for this conference.
Yeah.
That's what I told someone the other day. But, Brian's tying it together so well for us. And I always say, you have to know where you start and you have to know how to get there. And so, we're going to start the engine, which sounds really great. And then, Brian's going to put the fuel in the engine. And then you're going to go home and put your foot on the gas. That's kind of how I'm seeing it this year, Brian. That's how I really.
I'm really fired up about it. And, I'm not just picking on you, Dee and Gary, about your presentation. Everybody that's doing a 15-minute segment, I've told everybody. I said, look, I've gone on my dental show, yours, Gary, a whole bunch of others, and I've put the gauntlet down. I said, this is the most powerful 3 hours of the history of the industry. And I recognize the impact of those words. Like, you can't say that and then just have it be some average looking thing. So I'm really, for the first time in a long time, even feeling a little nervous, like getting together with all the speakers and saying, look, this has got to be really, really good because I said these things. I don't want people to say, oh, you said it was going to be this and it wasn't. It's going to be that. But there's something for everybody though, right? But, like your workshop in particular, because, people always come to me and they say, look, we love the event, but, I've only got 3 offices or 2 offices, or maybe I have 1, and some of the stuff that the bigger organizations are doing, I can't do, or it's a good idea, but I'm not there yet. And that's what the workshops are for. If you got 1 office, 2 offices, 3, 5, and you're sort of saying, what's actionable for me? Like, I don't have 100 offices. What can I do? In particular, Dee, Dee and Gary, your workshop is terrific for that. And there's other workshops that are really designed for those organizations. So there's something for everybody. You come, you can get really, particular and specialized knowledge for smaller organizations. And then you can come to the big stage, and a lot of what's on the big stage applies to everybody also. So no matter what size your organization is, it's going to be great. But then there's some tidbits for very large organizations too. So there's something for everybody at the event.
Yeah. And I think, just to hop in here, Gary, really quick, I think one of the things that I just really love about what we're doing in our workshop, when we do the CEO panel, we have obviously the top guys there, right? But we're taking it back to the beginning. For those people that have those, when they're new, they're coming out, I think it's so funny. We never give them the questions every year, and they're so nervous because they don't know what we're going to come up with. But we do that in our workshop on purpose because we let them create the questions. We want the questions from the audience. And that's what's really unique about this year. Everything's going to come from the audience. So what are the questions? What do they look like? This is your hour and a half with the CEOs. You'll be able to ask those great questions. And Gary, Brian, all of us in this climate right now, there's a lot of questions. And I keep going back and saying this. I spoke to someone this morning, and I think this is really key for where we're going. You need to go learn. You need to go listen, and you need to listen to the positive. There's so much opportunity that people are not seeing. And I think, Brian, you're going to bring it out in this conference. Yeah. I think, I retitled it. I said someone this morning, this is the conference of opportunity. Learn, because the ones that learn the opportunities will survive and do extremely well. And that's what I'm seeing here. So I'm really excited about it. And again, I'm going to say this over and over again. Ryan Colao is making us give out the secret sauce.
He really is. No, I'm not exaggerating, guys. I hopped on a call with him. I said, here's what I'm thinking. I'm trying to cram this down. And he's like, you got to do better. And I was like, okay, well, what are you looking for? He's like, you need to tie it together faster to them to be able to play. And he wasn't trying to be mean. He was just being like, Gary, I'm tying together 10 of these and I need them to just absolutely slap people in the face with value. And I was really, really impressed by that. And I know Dee and I were both on the call and we worked through it, and it helped us. It helped us narrow down, okay, here's what we're going to be doing. Here's what we're going to be focusing on. So I'm excited because I know, Brian, you did that with every single.
I did. And I'm doing it now. Like, we got to you guys early, but others, like right now, I got actually 2 more calls. It's Friday when we're doing this. I got 2 calls today where I'm going to do it again to 2 other panels, but we really got to help people. I mean, Dee and Gary, you've been here a very long time in the industry. I'm in my 29th year. It's tough right now. Okay. This isn't like one, a year where everybody's having record years and everybody's doing great. Otherwise, we'd go have a band and just dance around. People need the help this year. We've done that before, but people need the help this year. They really, really do. And this is the time for us to step up and really do our best to help people. Even if we give a little secret sauce away or something, normally we wouldn't be that specific on stage. This is the time we really got to help people with these challenging times with the interest rates right now and the cost of labor and the labor shortage. We got to help people this year.
100%. Now I'm just going to go through these workshops really quick. These all happen on Wednesday. So you have to buy a ticket to Dykema, which at the end of the show, I'm going to give away some free tickets, and I'm going to tell you how to get those. But these are the day before. So you have to pay for these separately. They're like a couple $100, and I have some discount codes for those as well. But Tusk is going to be doing one for a workshop on how to sell your practice. Dee and I are hosting one, attracting the right kind of patients, plus with the CEO panel where the CEOs of some of the biggest DSOs sit there and take questions directly from the audience. It is interesting to watch, and you get a lot of good information. And then there's also the dental pitch. Dentistry's Got Talent. So this is where people bring in their products and different things like that. Pretty cool to learn about different things that are coming into the industry. You have HR for Health workshop. Women in DSO have an advisory board meeting. And then there's one on technology as well, right, Brian?
Yeah, there's a workshop on technology, on some of the new innovations out there. And they had it last year. They had 50 or 60 people. It wasn't designed to be a giant thing, but all the, what would you say, the techies of dentistry got together, 50 or 60 of them. And for the reports I heard, I was running around and I don't understand some of this stuff. So I didn't, go to that one, but they said, you got to stop by this year. And I am going to stop by this year. And they said they got a lot of, collaboration of ideas back and forth on technology. So I was excited to hear that as well. And this year I will stop by and kind of see some of the new ideas they have there.
That's awesome. Now, if I had to pin you down, Brian, and say, okay, I'm a dentist. I got 5 locations. I have to pick. I can't go to all the events. Why should I come to this event? Like, just hit me with it straight up. Why should I take this time off of work, fly all the way out to Colorado, spend this money, bring my team? Why Dykema?
It hasn't changed in 11 years. The answer is the same, and I'll give it to you again. Best content, best networking, most fun. That's what I've said, been saying that for 11 years. I personally procure that content on stage. Like, I can't tell you what we're eating anymore or what the tablecloths are going to look like. I mean, I've long since, lost control of that kind of stuff. But if you want to know what the stage is, I'll tell you exactly what's on stage. I always make sure personally that everything on stage, is really value added for everybody. And as you've pointed out, I'm feeling the pressure. You're feeling the pressure. Everybody else with these segments that we're doing, I'm really making sure it's value added this year. We're going to have over 2,400 people there. So the networking, anything you need in the industry, you need a lender, you need a consultant, you need marketing, you want to talk to executives from DSOs, you want to buy something, you want to sell something, pretty much anything across the board that you would need for a group practice or DSO will be there for you. And then we have fun. I mean, look, we got Spasmatics Band, we got the Drone Show, we got Coach K, we got Ali Reisman. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I also
All right, Dee.
think, Gary, going back
to
off of what Brian's saying here, I think, what he really does well in this industry, you go home with a roadmap, right? You go home with thoughts and things that can be processed very quickly within your DSO. And I think that's the uniqueness of Dykema. And I think that's what Brian's done well. He's been able to attract that audience and keep that audience because you really go home with knowledge that you can implement. And to me, in the market that we're in, everybody needs a roadmap. It's kind of like when we came out of COVID, we needed a roadmap.
Yeah.
We're here now, we need a roadmap, right?
Yep.
And what I love about this conference, and I've seen some of the content, we had some conversations, just from the workshops all the way through, you're going to have the roadmap to really navigate your EBITDA and other things that have to happen right now. And so to me, that's really key what Brian's put together this year. So I'm excited about that because I think that, people really need that. And, you look back, like I said, we came out of pandemic, we didn't know, right? And we were trying to cover roadmaps, but this is extremely important. And I'm going to go back to, I tell anybody, if you're going to spend money wisely and take time out of your practice, make it worth your while and your team's worthwhile.
Yeah.
And this for sure, I think we all can say is going to be more than worthwhile, especially in the climate that we're in.
And I can't believe this, literally. While you were talking, Dee, I was sort of in my brain thinking of the calendar. It's 2 months and a week away. I can't, it's coming up.
Yeah. It's right around the corner. Make sure you get your tickets now. I got free tickets. Brian's been gracious enough to say, hey guys, you guys can have some free tickets that you're giving away. Go to smcnational.com. There's going to be a little bar at the top that's going to say Dykema really nice and loud. That's how you go and you can win those free tickets. There's also discounts to our workshops. Sign up for the workshops on Wednesday. And Brian, Dee, thank you so much for coming on today, explaining this. I'm so excited about it. I know our audience is going to be excited about it. And if you're not coming, you're going to miss out. Like, you're going to hear about it afterwards, and you're going to see all the posts on social media, and you're going to have your, FOMO, a fear of missing out and going, man, I wish I would have been there. Don't do it. Take the time, come out to the conference. And I'll put it this way. And I've done this before for people, but I've only done it for certain events. Money back guarantee. If you go to these events and you don't like it, come to me. I will give you back a refund, and I'll refund you your tickets. Okay. So I am happy to do that because I've never met anybody that was like, oh, I didn't enjoy it. I didn't like it. Everybody's always like, it's amazing. I get tons of value out of it. So if you're on the fence, get off the fence. Brian, Dee, thanks so much for coming on. You guys have a great day.
Thanks.
All right. Awesome, guys. That was really good. I'm going to,